Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin in approximately 1 minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our closing session today is hosted by BT's Alex Foster and James Golich, as well as Idomoo's Mike Stone, and they will be sharing a very interesting session on a digital-first approach to insurance communications. Now, before I introduce the speakers, I want to give a quick reminder to all of you to please submit your questions to the Q&A function and not the chat function. Once again, as you go along the presentations, feel free to put in any questions that you have through the Q&A function, and our speakers will be able to view them as and when you send through them. I'd like to now introduce the speakers we have with us today. So firstly, Alex Foster actually leads BT's insurance, wealth management, as well as financial services sector, and is also the head of industry initiatives and an expert within their banking and financial services vertical. With a background of running trading floors in major investment banks, Alex brings with her a deep knowledge of customer requirements to her role. We also have James, who's an enthusiastic individual with a diverse range of work experience and is currently the account manager for BT Personalised Video with BT Group. And last but definitely not the least, we have Mike Stone, who is the director of partnerships with Idomoo. Alex, James, and Mike, they have prepared a very interesting presentation with a couple of videos. So once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to submit them at the Q&A function throughout this session. Alex, James, and Mike, the floor is yours.
Well, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for spending time with us. It's no secret that as humans, we really are visual creatures. I know I certainly do, but we do know that when information is presented through images, through videos, that actually that's the way we like to assimilate it. High-speed internet connections have certainly enabled us to do this better than ever, faster than before. And so video has become ever more important for all business, but in particular for insurance. And we've got some great statistics to share with you later on in the presentation. Video was once a nice add-on, but now it's absolutely a crucial part of any insurance customer marketing and engagement strategy. I also recognise that insurance is a regulated industry and one where actually policymakers globally have been tightening regulations. I have the pleasure of spending lots of time with the regulators to ensure that the products and services that BT provide to this industry meet those standards. And when we start to think about those tightening regulations for insurance, particularly around insurance distribution, those regulations are there to really empower the customer. They're empowering the customer by an expectation of transparency about the products and understanding about products and services, but also to enhance the professionalism of the industry. But actually, these new regulations combined with video actually provide a significant opportunity to gain market share, to increase productivity, to gain an increase in that return on investment and meet those regulatory standards by the use of videos. Some of the surveys that we've been looking at show that actually 72% of people prefer video text when actually learning about a product or a service. We've also seen that digital spend, particularly in insurance, over the last 3 years has increased by 53%. And coming back to how customers are viewing and looking at products and services, well, actually 60.3% of video views are actually done on mobile. So you can see the continuing trend for both the industry and for other businesses. There are many, many uses of videos, but today we're really talking about BT personalised video, which is there to help deliver the right message at the right time, unlimited, and so it continues with the customer. We talk to customers about the use of video from investor relations, from annual meetings to product demos and conferences like this. But actually today, we really are talking about BT personalised video. At BT, our purpose is to connect for good. And we hope with the power of video, we can certainly enable you and your customers to do that. But where are you on that journey? Why don't we have a look at a poll? And as Jade said, let's put that into the Q&A section on Zoom here and see how and where you are using video currently with your customers and your employees. So are you currently using it? Yes or no? This is probably where we need some of that TikTok music that you see on television stations. Coming back to those statistics, are you in that 72% of people who prefer video over text? Are your customers? Are your employees? And actually for you, does your digital spend, come into that category of an increase in 53%, or are you on a journey? Well, there we go. Actually, looking at those statistics, 83% of you on this Zoom call today are saying that actually you are using video for some of your customer and some of your employee interactions, which is fantastic. That means you are already on the journey. For the 17% of you that aren't on your journey, actually you can see then, what the industry is doing, how the industry is moving, but also, how BT and BT personalised video might be able to help you. And for those of you in the 83%, actually hearing what we have been doing might enhance that interaction even further. I'm going to hand over to James now, who's going to talk to you a little bit about BT personalised video. Over to you, James.
Thanks, Alex. As alluded to in the introduction, it's common knowledge that more and more content is being consumed in the video format. And this is a trend which is only going to continue to grow, especially in the current climate when digital engagement with the consumer has never been more important for all brands. And the statistics on the screen now go further to demonstrate the impact and importance of video when engaging with your consumer. I want to focus in on one particular statistic here, that 70% of online consumers are watching videos across multiple platforms. What this illustrates is the need for brands to engage with their consumer via video, and more importantly, to have a strategy to ensure they're doing so effectively. And we go a step further, and these are looking at generic videos. So how do we go that step further and enhance it? And this is where personalized video comes in. On a daily basis, we are all bombarded by brands trying to get their message across to us, whether it be TV ads, social media, or emails. And the reality is we ignore the majority of it. So how do we cut through this noise? We provide high quality video, relevant information about the consumer. Whether we like to admit it or not, we're all slightly selfish, and we like to be told about us, something relevant to us. And personalized video allows you to tailor your message to each and every consumer. And this is done by combining that high quality video with the personal data which you have on your consumers. And what this enables you to do is have that one-to-one interaction on a digital platform. This data-driven content allows you to tailor the audio, the visual, and the text of each and every video. And to give you an idea of the scale and capabilities of our platform, in a recent campaign on our platform, we delivered 23 million videos to 16 countries in 12 different languages. So that demonstrates it is truly a global platform. Here's the first example that we're going to show you from the insurance sector. This is an example from Bupa, one of the world's largest healthcare and insurance providers. They chose to use personalized video as part of their renewal journey to reduce customer churn. The idea behind adopting personalized video was to supplement printed documents, to explain the policy and leave consumers feeling more informed about what they've purchased. Can we roll the video, please?
Hi, Lawrence. Doesn't a year go quickly? It's almost time to renew your health insurance with us. In this short video, we'll take a quick look at some of your details to make sure that you continue to enjoy the benefits of your health insurance cover, knowing that, if your health suffers, you'll get the help you need as quickly as possible. We know customers like you trust us with the most important thing you have, your health and well-being. After all, life is what you make it. Which is why we want to be here to support you in feeling at your best this year, bringing you a whole range of everyday health benefits too. So here's the cost of your insurance for next year, as well as the price you paid last year. It's important to bear in mind that last year's price shown here will reflect any discounts or adjustments you may have had. There are other factors that can also affect the cost of your health insurance, the most significant being age, postcode, claims, any rise in IPT, and the costs of funding new treatment and drugs as medical technology advances. Your continued health and well-being is our #1 priority. Look out for a copy of your policy documents in the post that will be arriving soon if they haven't already. Read them carefully and check that your cover is still right for you. We've got a range of policy options available, and prices vary depending on what you choose. If you have any questions or there are any changes you would like to make, we're here if you want to talk. Thanks for being a Bupa customer, Lawrence. We're really pleased to continue to support your health every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you can also agree that the personalizations throughout that video are incredibly powerful and engaging. I want to bring it a bit closer to home to demonstrate that at BT, as always, we're drinking our own champagne. BT Consumer chose to use personalized video. They identified within their early life customer journey that there was a significant touch point that was causing consumers to, one, have bill shock and a propensity to call into call centers, which has a monetary value associated to it. So what they chose to do was create a personalized video explaining in great detail, tailored to each BT Consumer customer, their first bill. And in A/B testing, when delivering this campaign, they found that individuals who received the personalized video were 59% less likely to churn within the first 90 days, which generated significant ROI. As mentioned, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the question and answers, and we'll do our best to make sure we cover them off at the end. So as marketeers and campaign leaders, you've produced high quality content and you've got the personalized data to make it highly engaging. Now you need to get it out to your consumers. And this is a real USP of our platform. It is delivered via a multi-channel or omni-channel distribution approach. And what this means is you as the brand are able to optimize your customer journey, delivering it to your consumer in their preferred delivery method. So traditionally, we see email used. However, in the last 6 to 12 months, we've seen a movement towards other platforms. And as Alex mentioned at the top, a huge number of people are now watching video content on their devices, their mobile phones. So for instance, personalized video can be delivered via SMS. It can be in an app, push notification. It can sit behind an online portal on a website. And the platform's also a Facebook marketing partner, so you can do targeted social campaigns. And the main purpose for us delivering personalized video across this omni-channel approach is trying to get as many customers through that marketing funnel as possible. We know that these videos are highly engaging. And again, to give you an example closer to home in the financial service sector, the BT Pensions team delivered a personalized video to each and every BT employee. And the pension engagement rate was over 80%, which in real terms means that 8 out of 10 people watched their video from start to finish. And that is an incredibly powerful statistic. So to talk you through what a customer journey looks like for a personalized video campaign, we've given you an example here of an email campaign. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the email. We recommend having an image from the personalized video, preferably with a personalization as high up in that email as possible. So in this example, it would say, "Hi James," and we'd recommend a message along the lines of, "Hi James, here's a personalized video from company X." Once I've clicked on the link or the image, it takes me through to a landing page. Now, the reason for this is the majority of email providers don't allow for videos to play within the email pane. We recommend as well that this is hosted by the brand. The reason for this is security purposes. Consumers want to click through and go to a website hosted by the brand. And also, it gives you the opportunity to have your look and feel and consistency across your brand communications. Within the landing page, you'll have our player embedded again, high up, and this again can be set up to either autoplay or click play, depending on your preferences. So again, it's very much tailored to your desires. As you've seen with the Bupa example, the video plays through, and it's worth noting that our analytics kick in immediately. However, I'm going to speak a bit more about analytics in a second. When you get to the end of the video, you will see one or multiple call to actions. The purpose behind this is you've been able to get your brand message across. Now, what you're looking to do is direct the consumer to take action around what you're trying to engage them about. So for instance, in the insurance sector, this could be around renewing your policy. It could be becoming a digital adopter and downloading the app. Or, as we're seeing currently, it could be directing them to sort of helpful information, which could be a case of when you need to make a claim, what to do when you're not able to get through to call centers. So the key thing around the call to actions is encouraging the consumer to take action and dictate their behaviors. And like with any campaign that we're running, we need to know the impact and success. And this is absolutely critical to personalized video. And again, is very much one of our USPs. As I've mentioned, the moment the video is clicked on, our analytics start recording. And what we're tracking is what device that individual's watched it on, who's watching it, where they're watching it, how long they've watched it for, and importantly, which call to action they've clicked on. We can provide this data to you either in a raw data form. You can access our customer platform and have it in an aggregated form, or you're able to integrate with your native analytics platform. So for instance, Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics or others that are available. And the real key thing for marketeers and campaign leaders is this can be viewed in real time. So the moment you distribute a campaign and consumers start watching those videos, you are able to immediately gauge the success and impact that this is having. And this is important because what this allows you to do is optimize the customer journey and the video continually. And you don't have to wait 6, 12 weeks to be able to understand the impact it's having. You know immediately, so you're able to continually make tweaks on the fly and then keep improving that campaign. Now, again, to talk about the BT pension campaign, what we were able to tell from the analytics was that individuals who watched their personalized video were 4 times more likely to increase their pension contribution. And that pension contribution on average, or the pension contribution increase, was 1%. So that is a clear indication of the ROI you are able to generate and demonstrate by using personalized video. I'm going to hand back over to Alex now for the second poll.
So it was great looking at those statistics earlier about how many of you are using video. But actually, how would you envisage using personalized video for your business? Would it be through acquisition to be able to acquire those new customers? Would it be, as we talked about from the regulators, making better customer engagement? Would it be about, increasing that customer composite in terms of your products by upsell and cross-sell? The all-important renewal and retention, so keeping that customer, or would it be for all of the above? So how would you envisage using personalized video within your business? Again, we need to sort of come back to that TikTok music, don't we, whilst we wait for everybody to fill in. And as James said earlier, this product in terms of BT personalized video at BT, one of our unique things that we do, whether it be security or whether it be video, is actually the products and services that we offer out to customers, we use for ourselves. So you heard the statistics from James in terms of our use of personalized video for our pension funds, and actually the click-through rates that we got, the return on investment, and actually for our teams, actually what that meant in terms of a better understanding of their pension. Well, wow, actually looking at the data that's come through, 71% of you say that actually if you were to use BT personalized video, actually you would use it for all of those, from acquisition to customer engagement to the all-important upsell and cross-sell, to increase that product composite, to be able to drive renewals, keep retention, and do all of those. And so with that, to look at that customer lifecycle journey, I'm going to hand over to Mike. Over to you.
Great. Thanks, Alex. And yeah, brilliant to see so many of you can already see multiple uses for personalized video throughout the customer lifecycle. I think what I'll touch on today is a little bit around insurance in particular, but yeah, as the slide indicates, we can use personalized video throughout the customer lifecycle, all the way from acquisition, where you may not have any first-party data, but as James mentioned earlier, we can look at third-party data through social platforms, through some of our marketing partnerships that we've got with the likes of Facebook and Instagram. But then through into that in-life journey, it's a really, really important part of making signature moments throughout that customer life cycle. And when we talk about insurance in particular, we would focus in on 3 key moments when you really do have the customer's attention. And those are onboarding, claims management, and retention and renewal. Now, that's not to say that you can't use it in other areas. As Alex said, a really important part of insurance policies and insurance products is that upsell, cross-sell message around different products that you can offer as a brand. But if we focus in on those 3 that I mentioned, I'll walk through a little bit more detail on why they're so important. So if we start with onboarding and that welcome message, this is the first engagement that you're going to have with your customer. So it's a really, really important time to make sure that not only do they A, know what they've actually bought, inherently insurance products can be quite complex, B, it's also a great chance for you as a brand to talk about the value that you bring. Why is it that they're going to go on this journey with you and really enjoy it? And the third point is alluding to what James said earlier around how BT Consumer were using the product, which is there's a reduction in early life churn that we want to help impact, and there's also normally a spike in calls to call centers when someone first joins a brand, and that's due to them potentially not understanding what they've signed up for, not realizing that something was or wasn't included, or why their first bill may be more expensive than they're expecting. So these are really important measurements that we would see in the welcome journey. Going right to the other end of the spectrum, retention and renewal, again, is a key part of insurance policies. It's a chance now where both from a customer perspective, you might be awakened to the fact that 30 days out from your renewal, there's a policy change that you need to actually look at your pricing again and evaluate the market. So it's a really important time to talk to your customers, recap on the value that you've bought them over the past year, talk about any changes or enhancements that you've had over the past year, and to make sure that they're willing and able to stay with you as a brand. And the third part is claims management. And the reason that it's so important is inherently insurance has very low touch points with customers, and claims management is probably where customers need you most. And it's also the most stressful, and for a lot of people, it's an unknown process. So it's a really important part of the journey where personalized video can actually look to talk to them as an individual, talk around their personal circumstances, walk them through the process of that claims management to really make them feel comfortable and understand that you as a brand understand their needs. And if we move on to the industry benchmarks on the next slide, all of those key measurements that I mentioned, those touch points that I mentioned, they really translate into business results. So if we look at churn reduction at that initial phase, that can be an early life cooling off period, or that could be the renewal churn rate right at the end of that customer life cycle. And both are significantly reduced when we start to use personalized video. Obviously, in turn with that, renewal increases as expected go alongside this. And touching on how Alex opened this session, when we look at pure engagement, it could be a regulatory need. It could just be that it's an industry where you don't have many touch points with customers, and you've really got to make them count with these signature moments within that customer life cycle. So when we look at personalized video, the base level of what we're looking to achieve is obviously making sure that engagement rates are higher than your standard channels of email, of standard video, whatever that might be. And the last point that I want to mention just around results, and we see this particularly at C-level, it's a really important indicator that if we can get this point right, everything else will follow. And that's the impact on you as a brand. So we look at net promoter scores quite a lot. So the likelihood that you as an individual would recommend a brand to a friend or family. And we see a lot from CEOs, CMOs, that if we can get that right, then the business results and the engagements will flow through and follow. And just to showcase a little bit around how personalized video has been applied in action, what we're going to do now is we're going to show a quick case study video from one of our customers, Liberty Mutual Insurance. And it's going to walk through some of the work that we've done in the Americas with them, and it will just showcase the value that they've seen from personalized video. The video itself is fairly self-explanatory. I won't talk too much longer on it, but hopefully you'll get to see some of the great results that we've seen across the board with them.
Liberty Insurance has over 1 million vehicles insured, each with unique information in their policies. But new customers rarely read the document sent, generating a lot of calls to customer service. The challenge was to reduce these numbers, increase the knowledge of the contracts, and to drive access to the online customer area. For this, we created highly personalized videos containing information about the policy of each customer. On a welcome email, we sent the link to the video, available to be accessed anytime on any device. We had 650 audio personalizations with 13 fields of variable data, and we produced it with a reduced investment using the Liberty Image Bank. In 6 months, over 50,000 welcome videos were viewed, an opening rate of almost 40%. Over 70% of clients watched the film right to the end. On average, each person watched 85%. And in total, each video had an average of 1.4 views. Almost 37% of these views generated clicks, increasing the number of registrations and use of the online customer area. The calls to the customer center reduced. Consequently, the costs for Liberty too. The customer satisfaction increased, according to research, and the NPS also rose. With this project, Liberty Insurance was not only a pioneer with personalised videos in the insurance sector, but left their customers well informed and happy, inspiring people to buy well.
Great. So just before I start the last slide, just a reminder, if you've got any questions, you can put them into the Q&A section. I know we've got a few and we're going to cover them off after this final slide. Yeah, and just to mention again, I think it's a really important indicator, particularly in the current climate, as you saw in that Liberty case study, that whilst, you know, improving stuff like engagement is a huge advantage in a market like in an industry like insurance, we are being asked more and more as businesses, you know, CMOs are now having to think like CFOs around, is there a cost value to this? And the answer is yes. If we're looking at stuff like OPEX reduction in terms of calls handled, or if we're looking at reducing that early life churn through to increasing renewal rates, there is a bottom line impact, which is a really important point. But just to finish the day, so I want to talk a little bit around the work that we've done with Zurich. So obviously Zurich being one of the top commercial line insurers in the world, and we work with them in a number of regions, and we've done that for multiple years now across multiple lines of their insurance products. And I think the key aspect of when we first started our relationship with Zurich was, and it's probably a challenge that a lot of you on the call are facing today, is that driving customer loyalty is a huge priority for insurers. There was a recent study by Gallup that found that an engaged customer was 22% more likely to purchase more insurance products from their primary carrier. But not only that customer was then 4 times more likely to stay on for 4 years longer. They were 3 times more likely to sign up for other financial products, and they were 4 times more likely to recommend their carrier to a friend, which brings it back to that brand point that I mentioned earlier. But again, in an inherently low touch industry such as insurance, engagement is really hard to achieve. So understanding that challenge, what we looked at, and the mounting evidence of the importance of personalized experiences for driving engagement, Zurich turned to our personalized video platform to better engage with their customers and drive loyalty through that one-to-one personalized video communication plan. So Zurich leveraged the BT Idomoo platform and the open nature of that platform, which allowed them to integrate into existing workflows and ecosystems, and allows brands to continue working on their marketing campaigns with their existing partners. So that could be anything from CRM systems, ESPs, creative agencies, and beyond. You're working in a native way, and we're ensuring that through our open API platform that you don't have to reinvent the wheel or start from scratch. And the relationship's now in its 5th year with Zurich, and it began by Zurich sending customers a personalized video informing them about their auto and home insurance renewal. But we've now widened that to cover life protection policies as well, and at the end of this year there'll be additional expansions into new areas and product lines. And whilst I can't talk too much around some of the results, the public domain stats that are available, and not surprisingly, with the relationship that we've had over multiple years, the projects are massively increasing loyalty, and they're also driving a significant increase in that net promoter score measurement, which means that as a customer, people felt more satisfied with Zurich, and they were more inclined to renew their policies as a result of watching those videos. I'm going to stop there. I appreciate we haven't got too much longer left, but we'll go on to the Q&A section now. So feel free to add some more questions into that Q&A section, and we'll begin to cover them off one by one.
Thank you very
So
much. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, I was just about to start picking up some of the questions, Jamie.
No worries. Yes, I'm going to do that. So thank you very much, Alex, James, and Mike. So we do have a couple of questions streaming in. And once again, to the audience who's listening, please feel free to shoot across your questions. Even if we don't have time to answer every single question, we will be compiling the questions for the BT and Idomoo team. So the first question that I have here, how is this actually built into the strategic marketing plan for any organization?
Shall I take that one, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so in terms of how it's built into the strategic marketing plan, as Mike kind of touched on with regards to the user cases across the customer lifecycle, it's very much a case of identifying where your key touch points are. And as Mike alluded to, you're talking about the times when you've got your customer most engaged. So when you're onboarding them and they've taken out a new policy, claims management, and then that renewal phase. So our advice to you from an insurance perspective would be identify those key touch points and start to build personalized video in there, because what you'll find is you don't want to send a personalized video for every single customer engagement that you're having. You want to save it for when you really want to get your brand message and brand value across and have the greatest impact. And that's what we're seeing across multiple FS sector customers.
And James, it's that beautiful trinity, isn't it, of absolute focus, it's data plus video giving you that return on investment, and all of that is built in and combined with a customer's CRM system as well. So it's the CMO plus the CDO and data, and then also the sales elements as well in terms of the CRM as well. So all of the C-suite happy that actually the marketing using personalized video actually drives the needs of both the sales organization and the marketing organization.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have something else from the Philippines. And the question is, will the new normal of the industry, insurance industry, I mean, where we are at now, do you think we will be making more use of video and digital engagement regarding client and customer relations?
Yeah, and maybe I can start, and Alex and James, feel free to add on. But you know, I think we've seen, particularly in the current climate, a massive shift over towards this digital engagement piece. And you know, some brands have had to digitalize overnight. They didn't have the option to talk digitally, and now they have to. But I think even before that, we saw a growing trend in that people were now looking to move to that digital engagement, and video is a core part of that. For all of the great stats that we shared at the beginning that Alex mentioned around how people are now consuming material, and in the way that inherently our brains are wired as well. We're very visual creatures, as Alex said. So it's a really important way to consume information. And I think more and more the generations that are coming are going to be more focused around that way of engaging as well. Flip side of that is that it's not just for young people. This is a core piece that we've evaluated and looked into, that this is a growing trend, and that people are now expecting to be communicated in a more personalized way and through channels that are more relevant to them. And digital channels are definitely playing a really, really core part of that going forward. Alex, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add from an insurance sector in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the insurance sector, as you said, you know, having the conversations that I've had with regulators, that personalization to be able to get the unique benefits of customers truly understanding a product. And also, actually, you know, from a regulator's point of view, they can see that a potential customer or a current customer has seen, viewed, and assimilated the content of a video. And so therefore, actually helps in terms of the interpretation and that transparency that the regulators really do require going forward as far as insurance distribution is concerned. You know, video is pervasive in everybody's daily lives. You just look at it, I think it's 500 million videos per day on Twitter. Actually, it is the new norm. COVID, unfortunately, and I hope everybody on the call is well and everybody's families are well, you know, has pushed the digitization of all industries, but in particular the insurance industry. You know, we are seeing an acceleration in terms of the take up of video, whether it be personalized video or any of the other forms of video. So video is here to stay for this industry.
Thank you very much. I think we have time for just one final question, and that is there a difference in the execution for this between general and life insurance?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to take that? Sure. So I think ultimately the way that we look at any campaign is, whilst there is obviously specific requirements for every product that we work on, we can start to translate a lot of what we've got in terms of learnings and best practices to any application. So yes, there may be different nuances to general and life insurance, obviously from a product perspective, customer profile perspective. But when we're building these campaigns, we want to ensure that we're actually getting the most and future-proofing the assets that we're using for multiple different use cases. And you almost want to think of it as building blocks. And for general and life insurance, you know, if you're talking about the same brand under the same umbrella, then you're really going to be looking at this from, okay, the message for a welcome message on general and life insurance is going to contain some of the same elements, because I want to recap the value that I bring as a brand. I want to talk to them about some of the great offers and opportunities that they have through us as an insurer. And those won't change depending on the products. And what we're able to do on the platform is drop in specific scenes that are personalized based on that product. So whilst the execution might be different from a product perspective, the way we'll treat it as a video would be the same. And it means that you can utilize it across multiple different products as well, which means that your investment up front is being spread more and going further.
And Mike, James, there was a further part of that question, not only about is there a difference between the two, but actually if you're a new customer talking, how long does it take, and what does your data need to look like?
I'll pick up that one, Alex. In terms of as a stake in the ground, we traditionally say that for a first campaign in the financial service sector, we would suggest factoring in 3 months from start to delivery. What we tend to find is, as you do a second and third campaign, this time frame shortens because you become more experienced in how to deliver it. And in terms of what's involved, you would provide the creative, which again we would assist with. The data as well would come from yourselves, but as Mike's also mentioned, it can come from third parties, it can come from social. We would then render the videos and provide you back with the unique URLs. And again, we would look to support you in regards to how you distribute it. Once you've distributed it, obviously our analytics kick in when consumers start viewing those videos. And then post-delivery, we would have optimization sessions with you. So the key point that I'm trying to get across with this is it's very much a collaborative approach. You're in charge of it, but we will work with you every step of the way to ensure it is as successful as possible. And around the data, yes, we work with a number of customers who, let's say, their databases aren't as refined as they want it to be, but they're able to take information from additional third parties and use that in personalized videos. And the number of personalizations you can start with can start at 1, but then you can scale up. We've done campaigns where there's been over 30 personalization data points within the campaign, and you can build out as you continue to develop your CRM systems and your databases.
Okay.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed answering all of those questions. Do we have any more time, Jamie, or are we out of time?
I'm afraid we are out of time, but not to worry. What we are going to do is to compile all the questions that we've not been able to ask. We'll send it over to you guys, so feel free to answer them after the session itself. So once again, I'd like to give a very good thank you to Alex, James, and Mike for joining us today, and all of you for joining us throughout the 4 sessions across the Future of Insurance Online Summit. Thank you also to all the other speakers for sharing their insights, and of course our sponsors BT and Twilio for making this happen. Now all 4 sessions have been recorded and will be available on demand, so do keep a lookout for that. Once again, thank you everybody. My name is Jamie and I hope to see all of you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
all. Enjoy the rest of your days. Thanks.
Stay safe, stay well.